Yeah, all set. Okay. So now I would like to invite Carolyn if she could, if you could, for example, give the viewers, the YouTube viewers and social media viewers, what is Bug RX is and what it does.
Thanks. ParkRx is really a way of how to use nature as a healing, and that can be um, awareness of how our connection to nature can really help an individual through a lot of different difficult situations. So it can there's a lot of different studies out there that are happening as far as the benefits of being in nature and spending time in nature and what that does for our bodies, both physically and mentally. So we're working with a nationwide effort called Park RX, and we're just kind of the small unit within Minnesota that we've started the southeast corner, and we're trying to make it even more of a statewide effort to go along with this whole big nationwide effort of really prescribing ourselves time in nature um, instead of prescribing other things such as medications and things like that that can be used to help with a lot of different ailments that people may have. And just realizing general time outside is just a super healthy practice for everyone. So whether it's kids and teenagers, you know, in their little stressful lives, figuring out that just a little bit of time in nature can help calm them down, to even some of our bigger medical ailments that might be able to benefit from having some time in nature. All of that combined is what we're really trying to push and change the mindset of individuals, but also just kind of make a larger focus in the medical community to help actually prescribe things, because we know when things are prescribed, there's a greater tendency to actually accomplish those things. So just saying you need a little bit more time outside, um, people don't really grasp onto that as well as they do when you prescribe a 15-minute walk 3 times a week. Um, that's just a little bit more tangible for people and more likely to do it. So this group of people here is a great resource to really make things happen and get awareness out there and really get people, like I said, in a mindset of using nature um, to help heal us. So that would be kind of what our efforts are, and we're starting here southeast Minnesota and hoping to keep expanding out, keep getting the word out there.
Thanks much, Carolyn. So now I want to give virtual podium to Brian and Jill. Sorry, we took a lot of time.
No problem at all. It's great to get to know everybody, and kudos for all that you're doing in Minnesota. It's amazing, and you know, just appreciate the opportunity to chat about Walk with the Doc. I'm gonna try to share my screen here. Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
And can you still see them?
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Walk with the Doc, we're a nonprofit, and our mission is to inspire communities through movements and conversation with healthcare provider led walking groups, walking programs. So my quick agenda, we'll just kind of talk through, you know, what Walk with the Doc is, sort of the history and growth that we've seen. I'll talk through some details of what a walk and what a program usually looks like, a little bit into the impact that we've seen both for our participants and our walk leaders, and then some next steps on how to get started. And then my colleague Jill wants to kind of share just, you know, a little bit of history about specifically their Walk with the Doc group in Minnesota. So we will jump right in. So Walk with the Doc, in a nutshell, we offer free physician-led walking programs that each take place throughout the year, usually at least once a month. What a walk usually looks like is a doctor will give a short little health discussion, health topic at the beginning of the event. And then people walk together, they ask questions, they get to know each other. So that is the nutshell. We were started by a cardiologist here in Columbus, Ohio, who, just starting with his practice, he, had learned that physical activity was obviously what his patients needed to reduce a lot of their, prevent heart attacks, reduce blood pressure, all the things we've heard before. And he came up with all these great ideas for how he was going to convince them to go out and get the exercise that they needed so that, he could hopefully put himself out of business. They'd stop having to come to the cardiologist as much. But anyway, all these great, meaningful conversations that he'd have with people, they'd be all excited. Yeah, doc, I'll get out and walk. I promise I'll do it. Sure enough, they'd come back 6 months later, hadn't done anything that they said they were going to. And so Dr. Sabger will always say that the program was born out of frustration. He was finally fed up and said, look, walking is important for you. I'm going to be at the park on this date. I'm going to bring my family. I want you to come. Bring your friends and family if you want. We're going to walk together. And so that was sort of the idea behind Walk with the Doc. That was in April of 2005. Sure enough, people showed up at the walk. He had over 100 people his first day, and kind of realized he was onto something. That personal invitation had gone a long way, and people appreciated the opportunity to actually walk with him. So started getting interest from other doctors throughout Ohio and then around the country, and now internationally. We're fortunate to have over 500 groups that are all walking once a month in 33 countries at the moment. 48 states. Fortunately, Minnesota is one of them. The two that we're missing, I think, are New Hampshire and South Dakota. So just putting that out there. If you have any cousins out in New Hampshire or anything like that, or South Dakota, let us know. So again, just a typical walk event. The walks are open to both patients and just, community members in general, all ages, all abilities, all backgrounds. Apologize if you can hear my dog upstairs. But walks are open to anybody. We try to make sure that the location is accessible. So choosing parks that have, bathrooms, water fountains, paved paths for folks in wheelchairs and walkers. Always recommend that our doctors choose accessible locations. And then walks can be led by physicians or also, healthcare providers, physician assistants, nurse practitioners. We've even got a branch called Walk with a Future Doc, which is led by medical students that are, just getting started in medical school. So those are typically the leaders. Each event, usually about an hour long, starts with that short health discussion, followed by the opportunity to walk and chat, whether it's health questions that folks want to ask, or again, just socializing, getting to know each other. Walks are once a month and typically take place at a local park, but sometimes it's at a school or inside at a mall, or really any safe walking location is great. And so I mentioned Dr. Sabger really started the program with the mindset of wanting to get his patients some exercise. So that is still kind of our primary focus, but we've stumbled across the program's a lot more than that. The opportunity to have a captive audience where you can share some health education on, various topics from preventing diabetes to getting better sleep to nutrition, and anything in between. But what we've really seen over the years is it's the social connection piece that really keeps people coming back to the program, friendships that are made. The doctors kind of enjoy having more than, the quick 4 to 5 minute quick office visit. They can actually spend some time getting to know their patients and getting to know people in the community as well. But then building those relationships between the participants has been really great to see. And I'm preaching to the choir, but obviously more and more research on spending time in nature and getting people outdoors in those green and blue spaces. So, and just to chat on that a little further, some of the, I guess, areas of focus or partners that we've worked on that I wanted to mention. In the top right corner there, that's the back of a t-shirt from one of our groups here in Columbus. But quite a few of our Walk with a Doc programs are based on collaborations between a local, Parks and Rec system or an individual park, a hospital or a clinic, or even just an individual physician, and then the public health department, sometimes public safety department. But being able to bring together those various agencies or departments can be really helpful to make the program successful. So just wanted to mention that we do work with ParkRx. Dr. Sabger and Dr. Robert Czar chat off and on throughout the year, and collaborate, share ideas. Quite a few cities will use their ParkRx initiative and have Walk with a Doc sort of be a subset or a tangible program that's part of their larger ParkRx initiative. So we're always excited when that happens. We've worked a little bit with the National Park Service over the last couple years. We developed this one pager here on the left. So we've got all kinds of topic ideas for our doctors to share at the walk. And this was one that we developed with NPS so that our doctors can be telling their walkers, their patients, about some of the health benefits of getting out in nature. And we've done, kind of planning a few other events with NPS here in the future too. And then finally, there's a logo for the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. We've worked with them. This will be our third year now. Each fall in September, they do a statewide initiative where DCNR partners with either the state medical society, or this year it's going to be the state AAFP, American Academy of Family Physicians. And so sort of pairing their parks with a doctor that's local in the area to host a one-time Walk with a Doc event, with the hope that then, they'll sign up to start an ongoing monthly program after that. So we are excited to do that again here in September. Let's see. I won't get too much into this, but essentially we see benefits both for our leaders and for our participants that attend the walks. I have a video here, but I don't think it's going to work. So maybe we'll include those later.
Thank you for having interest in Walk with a Doc.
Honestly, can you see the
days
video?
I spend at the walk are my favorite part of the week. I can't ever remember leaving a Walk with a Doc event and not feeling great. It is 100% changed the way I practice medicine over the last 16 years. But don't just take it from me. Please hear from our leaders around the world.
I didn't want to be the kind of doctor who just prescribes pills and insulin. I wanted to help people live healthier lives by making lifestyle choices.
I think medicine is more than just a profession. It's calling, and it's an oath to uphold the things that we're supposed to be doing, and reaching out to your community is what you're supposed to be doing.
My passion as a pediatrician is to help families get healthier. I was becoming frustrated that in the office, no one seemed to be listening to me, and I wanted to do something that was free and open to the community.
One of the things that's important to us is encouraging people to get activity and exercise.
There was a need for my patients to exercise in a setting that didn't necessarily require a lot of equipment or a significant amount of effort.
Instantly, I knew that this could be something we could bring to Boulder, and it could be pretty easy to put in place, mainly because of what Walk with the Doc has created, their toolkits and everything else.
Don't be afraid to do it. I mean, it's fun. Once you start doing it, you won't want to stop.
You are definitely changing lives by starting this initiative and just putting your best foot forward, literally.
I wish every town, every city, every community has a walk. program is phenomenal. It is innovative. It's really kind of grown from the heart.
You're going to help so many people.
What Dr. Sapir started, I think, has made an impact throughout the world, and we're just really super grateful to be part of that.
So those were some of our doctors around the country. And now we would love to tell you about a couple ways that y'all can get involved locally, either by joining a chapter. So we do have a handful of chapters in Minnesota. Would love to start many more, but this is a list of the groups that we have at the moment. And the map there on the right. So feel free to go to our website. You can go to walkwithadoc.org and search the map. If there's a group in your area, I know we've got 2 down in the Rochester area that Jill will share more about. But at the bottom there, I mentioned coming soon with a question mark. We are actually working with AARP to launch some sort of strategic, launch the walks in strategic locations this year. And Minneapolis-St. Paul area is actually one of them. So if anyone has colleagues in the Twin Cities, we would love to connect with a physician there that might be interested. So those are our existing groups. And then, we do try to make it pretty easy to start a new chapter. Always love working with Parks and Rec folks to, launch the program. It can be really helpful for the doctors to have a partner that can help them with logistics and promotion and, a lot of the behind the scenes things that everybody does for various programs. So, first step is usually finding a doctor in the area. We have all kinds of tools that you can use to reach out to local doctors, clinics, hospitals. And once we identify one that's interested, then we make it pretty easy to get started. Here's some of the resources that we provide, obviously ongoing support and just best practices that we've learned from groups over the years. We provide liability insurance. Typically the doctor or the hospital likes to make sure that they've got insurance and waivers in place for the Walk with a Doc program. Since it won't be in the hospital, it'll be off-site at a park for the most part. Marketing materials, all kinds of pre-made flyers, social media posts, press releases, prescription pads, similar to ParkRx, where the doctors can prescribe that their patients come walk with them at the next Walk with a Doc event. We build a website for groups too and put all the information up on the page, and then a couple options for merchandise packages with Walk with a Doc t-shirts, pedometers, yard signs, things like that. I mentioned at the beginning that we're a nonprofit. We do pass along a startup cost of $650 to start a new chapter. But 2 things I'll say with that. One, a lot of times the hospitals will be, interested in doing it for the community, but also a good marketing opportunity too. So they're usually happy to help out with the cost. But if not, we do have plenty of scholarship options and ways to help out with the cost if it's an issue. So just wanted to mention that. Again, feel free to go to our website. We will send you a guide to getting started with some recommendations and some next steps on how to get the program started, how to find doctors, all of that. So that's really all that I had. And if it's okay, I think I'll turn it over to Jill to share more about Rochester's walks.
Great. Well, thank you, Bryan. And just to let you all know that Walk with a Doc really has fabulous resources. Their support is wonderful. Check out their website. If you're traveling, you can click on Join a Walk and find out where walks are throughout the United States. It's really, really awesome. And I have to say the support has been fantastic with Bryan. I don't know how he communicates with over 500 chapters, but he does. And we're really happy to be a part of it. So we began our program at EA Therapeutic Health in June of 2022. So we just have completed a year. And there is another program in Rochester as well with let's see, it is the Lotus Health Foundation, Rochester Clinic. And I noted on the website that they have a walk scheduled for Friday, August 18th. So check your calendars and see if you might be available to join them, but check the website for details. As far as EA Therapeutic Health goes, our lead doctor is Melanie Brennan, who is a physical therapist. And Melanie has led several of our walks, but we also try to reach out into the community to find other doctors with other areas of expertise to share information and share topics. We offer our program once a month. During the summer months, we are at Cascade Lake Park on the first Thursday of the month. As we get into fall, we're going to shift the time frame a little bit, but for the month of September, we'll be doing a 6 o'clock start with a 5:30 to 6 o'clock registration period. And I do want to add that Rochester Parks and Rec has been really supportive. As a partner, they are offering free picnic shelter availability and rental for us, so they're waiving the fee for us. So we meet at the park picnic shelter at Cascade Lake Park. The doctor, again, gives a brief educational talk. And then depending on the weather, depending on the group, we may walk the trail around Cascade Lake Park, which is about a little over 2 miles, or we may alter if it's a hot day, and depending on what the group is interested in. But we do have our next 2 programs lined up. We've got our September 7th program lined up with Dr. Brandon Johnson, who is from the Mayo Clinic. And Brandon Johnson is a third-year resident with the Mayo Clinic Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Residency Program. And he'll be talking about the benefits of lifestyle medicine. And then as we move into October, we're going to shift the time frame a little bit because of darkness, getting a little earlier. And our walk will actually begin at 5:15, with registration taking place from 4:45 to 5:15, and then the doctor's talk followed by the walk. And then as we move into the winter months, we are reaching out to the Apache Mall to do some indoor walks on Saturday mornings. We don't have our winter schedule fully confirmed yet, but we're looking at the first Saturday of the month at 10 a.m. The mall is generally open for walkers in general. So we're trying to tap into already a captive group of walkers and presenting our program in the food court area, followed by a walk within the mall. But due to Minnesota's varying temperatures, wind chills, icy conditions, we found that moving inside is a pretty good option for us. And then come springtime, April or May again, we'll move back outdoors again. So in a nutshell, that's our program here in Rochester. And Bryan, please jump in if you've got anything to add there.
No, that's great. Yeah, we love working with your team, and just always again love the collaboration with the local parks and local venues that host the walk. So thanks for all that you guys do, Jill.
Yeah, thank you. And our website does have a link to Walk with the Doc, and if you click into that link on our website, you can pull up the flyers currently for our September and our October walks with a little more detail. And if you'd like to get on our Walk with the Doc email list, please reach out to me, and I'd be happy to send you a reminder every month about our program.
Thank you so much, very, very, very much. It's amazing work. So thank you so much. I think there are a lot of questions out there, but first of all, I will just kind of say that if we could just kind of work together, and if you could also join us, our regular meeting, that would be also something that I will throw out there. If you could join us as a Southeast Minnesota Park, especially Jill, since you are
I would be happy to join your monthly meetings. Yes, I would enjoy that very much. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you
Please
so
include me on your email list.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And the first question is that how we could, for example, sorry if I missed your presentation, but my question is how we could for example, as Southeast Minnesota partners and work with like to work together to just kind of mobilize and get our communities utilize, for example, work with doctor. So I'm just kind of curious how we could, as a two kind of coalitions, work together. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'd be happy to share information about the Southeast Minnesota RX program at Walk with a Doc too. If there's other opportunities available in our region, I'm happy to share that information with the participants that take part in our Walk with a Doc program. And I think our biggest struggle right now is really just getting the word out about our program. So that's certainly a way where your involvement could help us too by spreading the word about our programs and creating more community and regional awareness about the Walk with a Doc opportunity here in Rochester.
Before I let Sarah to ask it, I'll just ask it, Bryan, and also if you could also include, if anyone okay with that, if you include our email list, your news feed, for example, what you're doing, so we'll get educated what you're doing every to just get information. So you can feed us, for example. I mean, sorry if I'm rumbling around my comment. If you could just kind of update us and get our emails and shoot out what you do, that's also something beneficial for us, especially me.
Yeah, that's great. Feel free you can go to the website and sign up for our newsletter, or any emails that go in the chat. I'll add them to our newsletter. Dr. Savger is, cardiologist by day and creative soul by night. He's got some pretty goofy newsletters. So tries to sprinkle in some health information along the way, but tries to keep it entertaining. So would be happy to add you guys to the newsletter. As Jill said, promoting the Walk the Doc events that are happening throughout Minnesota is great. And then again, always looking to start new ones. Obviously, 2 programs in Southeast Minnesota is a great start, and we'd love to start many more. So any partnerships with local doctors, or again, like the local medical societies or public health departments, hospitals, clinics, anybody that's got doctors, healthcare providers that might be interested, would love to help foster those relationships and start some new Walk with a Doc programs.
Sarah, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to throw out there, a few months back, we had some folks with the Minnesota Department of Health talk about the Walk with Ease program through the Arthritis Foundation. And I was just curious if your Walk with Doc program does much partnering with them, because in Minnesota now, and Ariel could maybe share more about this, the Minnesota Department of Health did just recently get awarded some big grant, and they're going to be moving forward with some initiatives through, I think, Walk with Ease and Park RX. So there might be a bigger capacity to do more in Minnesota coming up. But I know Walk with Ease was a real focus that they had focused on over the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's great. A couple years back, I think it was when I was first starting in like 2017, we worked with NRPA and did sort of a Walk with the Ease, Walk with a Doc collaboration, and went well. It was great. I think my colleague Rachel, who's our COO, actually just talked with someone from Walk with Ease about some potential, new collaborations that we could do. So definitely something that we're interested in.
Any other question, comment? Just to share this comment related to kind of unifying the efforts. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a kind of activity program, I would say, in Olmsted County, especially in Rochester, city of Rochester. I don't know if Jill is aware of. I think it's called Walk with the Mayor. So I was just thinking maybe usually I like if we unify every effort, we just kind of related to taking our communities outdoors. So I'm just kind of thinking that if we could also thinking about that, how we could make that more unified and more stronger, so we could have more impact.
Right.
And especially, I'm just kind of also curious that there are certain communities who might not, for example, utilize our parks. That could be, for example, maybe they don't know how to navigate, or they may have cultural issues, or they may have language barrier, how to kind of look for resources. So if we could also kind of pay attention to these invisible communities, or I would say less accessible communities. Yeah. Carolyn, sorry.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
a quick question on who is invited to your walks, if it's just client focused and those clients that are being served by the doctors, or if you're working with like public health departments and other areas to really kind of invite the whole community, or how that works.
Jill, you want to answer that one?
Sure. Walk with the Docs programs are inclusive, open to all. So there is community wide. Everybody is welcome to participate. And, Walk with a Doc also states, walk your own walk a little bit too. Like, if you want to go out for 10 minutes and that's your capacity, that's great too, but yeah, walks are welcome to all. Everyone is welcome.
So are you advertising through other, how do you get the word out there?
Well, that's part of the challenge because we don't have an advertising budget. So we're looking a lot at, on our website at EA Therapeutic Health. There's Facebook posts. I've started developing an email list based on past participants and people that have expressed interest in the program. We're utilizing some of the community calendars in Rochester, maybe the KTTC community calendar listings, Rochester local, avenues like that. And I'm open for suggestions as well, how we might better get the word out.
Yeah, I think there's some opportunities within this group to get some more contacts and
yes,
public health and some of the
absolutely
community health organizations to kind of help spread the word as well as some of our parks departments. So
that would be fantastic.
Ben already spreads the word because you're in his parks, but I think some of the rest of our parks could do a better job at helping promote that too. So
definitely, yeah, definitely. I think that's something that we could help as a Southeast Minnesota partners. If you could, for example, share whatever you're doing, the flyer or the information, we could help you just kind of promote that. Especially, for example, I can, for example, send to our communication office so they can kind of post it to the county social media site.
That would be great.
Internally and, for example, external. So it's definitely we could help with that. So please do that.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
We could use all the support in helping get the word out within their community. Perfect.
Yeah, and I think even internal our staff can benefit, so they can. I think they would be more excited to see that monthly or whatever, semi-annually, that whenever you're doing, if we share our focus, they will also benefit. So we'll share internally, also our external.
Sure.
So please do that. Let us work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think
come out and join us on Thursday, September 7th out at Cascade Lake Park and join us and learn a little more about the program. We welcome all of you to attend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Always update us, please. We have, I think, all our emails. I want to speak on behalf of all the rest of the team. Sorry, but you can email to all of us, so and share with whatever you're doing. So that would be amazing. Any other comment, question? I think the bigger piece that we always kind of struggle is that how we could mobilize and kind of get the bigger community, get them out and utilize the park or outdoors. So I would love, for example, if you could how we could, for example, reach out these the bigger community and kind of educate them, encourage them to go out and utilize our parks.
Yeah, I mean, from my end, that's kind of our hope with Walk with the Doc. I think, people come to Walk with the Doc events for different reasons. Some people might already enjoy going to the park, but maybe they don't want to walk alone, or maybe they are interested in some of that health education materials that they can learn along the way. But then there's some people that, maybe like Dr. Sabger, he's been telling, the same patient over and over that you need to go to the park, you need to go out and walk, and whatever the barrier is, if they're, again, scared to walk alone, or maybe just need some accountability to have people to walk with that they know are going to be there. That's our hope, is that we're, just getting them to take that first step to go to the park, join Walk with the Doc, and the hope being that then they're hooked. They've got their accountability there with their friends that they meet over time, and that's really the reason behind our monthly requirement for each chapter too. Is annual events are great, but sometimes hard to build relationships, build momentum, and really bring behavior change when it's one time a year. So trying to establish those monthly programs to help continually getting people to go to the park, and then maybe they realize, oh, walking's not as scary as I thought it was. Maybe I'll go take my family to this other park on the weekend. So trying to really just get them established with that routine.
Sarah?
I was wondering, when you're talking about the importance of building community partnerships and collaborations, and you talked about like county public health, the WIC program, Women, Infants, and Children. I don't know if every state has that. I guess I'm kind of naive. I don't know a whole lot about public health, but I participated in that with my first two children because we were low income at that time. And then when I had this third baby more recently, we were in a different income bracket. I didn't qualify for WIC services, and I feel like I got worse service from my healthcare provider. I hate to say that, but like lower income, they paid a lot more attention and made sure I understood about the resources and things out there. I'm just curious if like working through public health, I know WIC is more of a nutrition focus, but if that could be a place where an introduction to like a walk with a doc type resource could be just kind of introduced to families. Because if you can introduce the families with babies, when they're tiny, it becomes more of a lifelong habit of getting outdoors and taking walks. Have you done anything with like a WIC type program?
So something that comes to mind locally, again, I mentioned that we work with Columbus, Rec and Parks, Public Health, and a local health system. Public Health had an organization that they worked with called Celebrate One, and really the goal was to celebrate, the first birthday of infants that were in those underserved communities that had a higher infant mortality than other parts of the city. So they worked with Celebrate One and hosted some joint events with Walk with a Doc that they called stroller socials, to bring together, the new moms and future moms, along with, the doctor from Walk with a Doc, to host walk events together. And just like you said, getting people started thinking about their health early on, and helping to support the health of the child through education and resources, and some things like that. So great idea. And anytime there's a potential for collaboration like that or something similar, it's always great.
That's awesome. Do you have on your website, I haven't had time to really go and explore your website. Do you have like lessons learned or, examples that different communities have done where they've had real success, where you can kind of look at it as like a little template you might build from?
That's a good question. I don't know if we have anything specific about the Celebrate One initiative. I don't think it's public facing on the website, but would be happy to send you some info if you're interested.
Thank you so much.
I'm also thinking like it'd be really cool to partner maybe with some of the med students on Dr. Lynch's team too, to bring it to some of our charter schools that don't have as much health services like on site or whatever. I mean, I think it'd be a really cool opportunity for them to be able to ask questions each month. And if somebody's coming out to, teach them a little bit about health, it'd be an excellent way to kind of introduce them into getting out and walking too.
Or even, if Bryan, you said future doctors, could that also be like, I'm thinking we have Winona State University has a nursing program, UMR has a health science program, like students in those fields where maybe they're not going to be doctors, but they're going to be, lab techs or whatever,
Yeah, so really any healthcare provider or future provider, we've got a couple options. We've got Walk with a Doc for the doctors, Walk with a Future Doc for the medical students, and then a third branch called Just Walk, which is really open to any healthcare providers, any future healthcare providers that want to lead a Just Walk program. So yes, would love to have everyone involved.
Yeah, these are great ideas to involve learners, either medical students or, other medical professionals. So, certainly if we feel like we're not reaching those populations, we can help try to, find those people who, can distribute information about these events, because that really impacts not just them now, but their kind of future thinking. And, it's definitely a place we should prioritize.
Absolutely agree. We love working with students, and our student-led groups, they're so fun because, they'll take a couple different approaches. Some of the students like to do it as even sort of like a mentorship opportunity, or, they're collaborating with the residents or the attending physicians, or, they are meeting those students from their nursing field or physical therapy, their future colleagues. But then a lot of them do appreciate the community building and getting to share what they're learning in school with community members, with their future patients. As you know, Dr. Lynch, they've got a lot of energy early on. So it's fun to work with students.
Any other question, comment? Okay, I think we can stop there. Thank you so much, Jill and Bryan. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of eye-opening, and this program is very, very important. So I hope we will be working together and kind of make a difference in our community. So thank you so much for coming to us, and we hope you will be coming always and give us more information about the work with doctors. So thank you so much, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.